In this lesson, we will be implementing the login server action. So I'm going to go to my login folder here, and I'll create a new file. I'll call it actions.ts. And since this is a server action, I will use server at the top. Then I'll import all the packages we'll need. So import z from Zod, import bcrypt from bcrypt, and we'll need redirect from next navigation. We'll also need sign JWT from Joe's, and we'll need cookies from next headers, and then we'll also need our SQL helper, so I can auto import that, and I'll need the configuration object from actually, let's see, maybe I can auto complete that. So lib server config. All right. All right, so we'll create a login schema using Zod. So I can do a z.object and then pass in a configuration object here, username z.string .min1, and password should be z.string .min6. Okay, and I'm going to add a type here for our form state. So the form state is going to have an optional errors property here, and there are two fields, username and password. Right, so this will have a string array, and then also for the passwords, this will also have a string array, and we'll also have a message property, which will be of type string or null. Okay, so I'm going to export an async function here called login, and it has two parameters: the previous state and the form data. Okay. So the first thing we want to do when the form is submitted is to validate the data using our login schema. So I'm going to create a variable here called validated fields, and I'm going to call login schema dot safe parse, and then I'll pass an object, username, and I'll get the username from the form data. And then also the password. Now, if it fails validation, we want to return an object with the errors. So validated fields dot error dot flatten dot field errors, and then also a message login error. Now, if the validation is successful, then we'll just want to pull the username from the form data and the password. Now, we want to check if this user already exists. Or actually, no, we want to check if this user actually exists in our database. So I'll do a user result equals await SQL select star from users, where username equals $1, and then pass in the username as parameter. And if userres.rowCount is 0, then we'll return the message that says user not found. Okay. Now, if we make it this far, then we know that we have at least one user, so we can just grab that user from our rows array. And at this point, we want to compare the password that was passed in with the password hash that's in the database. So to do that, I'm just going to do an isMatch here and wait bcrypt.compare and password.toString and then user.password, which is the password hash. Okay, so now if the password is a match, then we want to generate a JWT token. So to do that, I'm going to create a token variable, wait new sign JWT, and we'll initialize it with an empty object, set protected header, algorithm HS256, the subject user.id, issue dot, I'm just going to do 2 weeks, and then I'll sign with the JWT secret. Okay, and I'll call cookies.set JWT token, pass in the token, and some configurations for this cookie. And if the login was successful, then we want to redirect to the dashboard. Otherwise, there was a problem with the login, and we can return an error message like this. All right, so I'm going to hit save. And so we've implemented our server action. And in the next lesson, I'll show you how to dispatch this server action from the login form.